Let's go to the other side of the aisle. With us now, Congressman Eric Sorensen of Illinois. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Okay, I want to start with the question. The discharge petition was discharged, but the law is not passed, right?
Correct.
What do you see happening when these subsidies come back in front of Congress for a vote in the new year?
Well, let's also step back and say now we have the majority of the House of Representatives saying that we should vote on this.
With four Republicans.
Right. So they joined Democrats. So now you can say that this is the majority of Americans,
right,
or I should say the majority of Congress in the House that wants to lower the costs.
Right.
Okay. So why didn't the Speaker of the House bring that up to a vote? You know, if I were him, I would have just wanted that to go away. All right, let's just vote on it and send it to the Senate.
And even with just the amendment, because the amendment probably would have been enough.
Right, and then give it to Thune, right? But he didn't do that. And so, you know, I think politically it is a failure on his part, because here we are, we're now talking about it again.
Right.
Right? We're talking about it, and we get to New Year's Eve and into New Year's Day, and premiums are going to go up. By many people in my district that are saying $1,000 a month, my premiums are going up. Why didn't the Speaker of the House do anything if he knew that the majority of the House was for it?
So you heard your colleague from Texas, Congressman Crenshaw, say basically that, you know, if there's a larger package, if there's a larger deal that comes back from the Senate, that, if I'm reading, but I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it sounded like there would be some openness maybe to an extension on the subsidies if it was part of a deal. Here's what Richard Neal, who's the ranking member on Ways and Means, had to say.
The only path forward is Leader Jeffries' discharge petition. 3-year extension, clear and clean, bipartisan.
Okay. You point out about the political liabilities for Republicans in this, and they are many, right? Going into this election year, when you take the Medicaid cuts that came in their reconciliation package, and then this is a political nightmare for Republicans. And I get that part. But is there a danger here that Democrats are so focused on the political pain that this is causing Republicans, and we don't get to a deal that the bargain is too hard?
Well, I mean, look, you know, one member that is not going to come back to the House is Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she was listening to her constituents, and she does not represent Atlanta. The same way that I'm in Illinois, I don't represent Chicago. You listen to people in small town America today, and they are hurting. You know, and so they are also reaching out to their members of Congress, whether they are Democrats or Republicans, saying, you need to fix this. And even she was so frustrated that she said, nobody is fixing this, I gotta leave. Because I'm not doing what the people want me to do. It is time for the House GOP to stop the politics and actually do what's right. And I'm thankful that there are those that are coming across the aisle, because as you know, Chris, the only thing that gets done in the House right now are bipartisan.
So, but the way that it might not pass is that if the discharge petition might not pass, is that if there's something on offer that says it's a deal, let's make a deal. So I'll ask you kind of the same question I asked Congressman Crenshaw, which is, are you open to a deal that includes, yes, an extension for those enhanced subsidies, but also has some of those kind of Republican, what they would call reforms attached to it?
So I will say, Chris, if it is going to lower the cost of the premiums so that the people in my district can afford it, yes, we need to work together.
Okay. On this matter of Venezuela, you have seen video that the rest of us haven't seen. You heard Congressman Crenshaw's depiction of what is going on. This is legal, that and that he's satisfied with what Congress has heard. What have you seen, and what can you tell us?
Well, I'm not giving anything away that I had learned in the confidential briefing, but I can tell you that the video that I saw was horrific, and it needs to be released to the American people so that they can see what happened. Because what I saw was, and as a meteorologist, you know, you were looking from a high altitude through the clouds, and to take out a boat, then you fly down to a lower elevation, and then you realize that there's people there that are waving for help. And then it took 40 minutes before, boom. That's not American, and it's not okay. And so the questions that need to be asked, where was the Secretary of Defense? Why did he leave Admiral Bradley out to dry? And we need to ask these tough questions, because when I was there, the tough questions were being asked by Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
This is not a political thing, because the worry that I have is the rest of the world is seeing this, Chris. The rest of the world is saying, all right, if Americans say now that this is okay, and I'm not saying that that those people that were on that boat were innocent, right? But if we say that's okay, and then we have soldiers in Syria who were not just killed, but they were injured, we're saying it's okay for our adversaries to come back and murder them. That's not right.
Do you think the rest of us are going to get to see that video? Do you think that ever comes out?
My hope from the House Armed Services Committee and our ranking member and even the chairman, yes, I think we do need the transparency. And I don't believe that that gives any, confidential or any process from the military away. We need the American people to understand if this is right and it aligns with their values.
Okay. By the way, do you know what happens to the oil? What do we do with the oil?
I wish I had a briefing on that.
From the seized vessels. Do we know?
I wish I had a briefing on it, Chris.
All right, we're gonna find out. We'll find out. Okay.
Thank you,
Congressman. We thank you for your time. All right. If you were nervous about checking your stocking in Coal Valley, Illinois, you would know him already. But if you don't, here he is, Congressman Eric Sorensen. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you.